I'm being involved.
Press the button.
And 3, 2.
And clap really loud. Cool! Introduce yourselves.
I am the Panda Red.
I am Darlingdoormouse, also known as Panda Scarlet.
Hi guys.
Hello there.
And man, it's been a while since we sat down and chatted.
It has been precisely 2 years, or at least, 2 years.
Calendar 2 years.
Calendar 2 years.
So, in that, you've been a busy beaver. You got to, so I'm going to go back 2 years.
Okay.
You got invited to that artist convention thing, the comic book thing.
I did indeed.
And
yes,
then
I did.
after that, or during that, someone goes, hey, you want to go to MegaCon? We'll put you up for the weekend.
So a little while ago, I came on here and I told you guys I was going to be in Orlando, Florida this coming weekend for OAX, which is still very true. I am very excited about that. I am getting flown all the way out to Orlando, Florida to be able to take part in this huge art expo and walk around and talk to people, and I can't wait to do that. However, in the comments of that video, I had a bunch of people telling me, man, I wish you would stay 1 week longer to go to MegaCon, which is the next weekend in Orlando, Florida. And I went, fuck, yeah, you're right, that would be awesome, but unfortunately I'm not paying for my plane ticket, so I gotta go home. So that really sucks. I would love to go to this con. And then a company by the name of comicbookdirect.com reached out to me and said, hey, would you want to stay another week? So guess who's gonna be at MegaCon? Courtesy of comicbookdirect.com. Shout out to one of the biggest online resources for comic book purchasing that I can find. Yes, it was right after I announced that I was going to be going to OAX that I got reached out to by a different company that was going to be going to MegaCon, and they were inviting a whole bunch of other TikTokers to go, and they thought it would save them on airfare that I was already down there, so it worked out. And
not to get too deep into it, because you met some legends. That
I did. I very much did.
And you got kidnapped by Comics Explained.
I did indeed.
Go to Disney World.
What's going on, y'all? This is Comics Explained. I straight up jacked Jay's
Bitch stole my shit.
stole his stuff. Yeah, man. So this place is dope. Honestly, this place is really, really dope. I imagine most of you guys have no idea who I am. Like, I'm the YouTube version of what Jay does. This place is dope. Jay, say what's up.
I got my shit stolen, so now he's making the video. Have fun with the TikTok thing.
Have fun with the TikTok thing? Are you for real gonna put this on TikTok?
Yes. I did indeed get kidnapped by a couple times. I got kidnapped by Comics Explained to go to Disney World, and then later, like 2 nights later,
Orlando?
It was still, both was in Orlando.
Oh.
Like two nights later, I also got kidnapped by him and Comic Historian to go to like late night Disney mall walk that they were doing. So I got, yes.
We lost Comic Story.
We did indeed.
What was he like? What was Benny like?
Big personality, loud. He was pretty much exactly the way that he portrays himself in his videos, where how he talks, how he explains things. That is very much the type of person that he was in private. I think he did a very similar thing to what I do with Panda, where the character is just 1 plus what I am usually like on a daily basis. And that is kind of how I would describe how he was in private as well. I only met him the one time, so I will say that with the caution of somebody who only met him for a weekend and only saw him for like 3 days.
Are you still in touch with Comics Explained?
On and off, yeah. We haven't really talked all that much since the actual event, but yes, we do talk sometimes.
That's fire, man. You met some legends. That's cool.
It's crazy. It's weird that part of the job has been getting to know and becoming friends with people that I used to watch growing up. We've constantly talk to Comic Drake now.
Talk to. I mean, like, he's
yeah.
coming to our wedding. He's a
Comic
very,
Drake
very good friend of ours.
Yeah, now Comic Drake, who's someone who I watched growing up, is now one of my groomsmen at my wedding. So that's like,
awesome,
it's just a very strange experience, very surreal.
Sometimes you just got to break down that wall and then just realize that they're also just people and that you have a lot of shared interests, obviously, if you've been watching them.
Exactly.
That's how I made my friends. And, okay, so speaking of your wedding, you two went unconventionally and proposed to each other.
Yes, we did. Yes,
he beat me by 2 months because I was already planning it. He knew that we were racing because it was a leap year, and so one of us was going to do it. He just beat me by a couple months.
Yeah, but she had already gotten all of the plans in place. She had already set up everything.
A photographer, I got
the ring, all of that, and I sneakily set it up within. I had a part-time job for like 6 months, and
it almost killed you.
It almost killed me because it was in parks, and I learned I was allergic to the world.
So apparently, if you almost go into anaphylaxis at your parks job, your girlfriend is going to make you go and get an allergy panel. You almost died one time. It wasn't actually anaphylaxis. I just had a pretty severe allergic reaction to something, and we have no idea what it was. So today, I'm allergic to everything. Pretty much every weed, literally the entire grass mixture, pretty much every tree, mice, dust mites, and feathers. Hey, it's like 2 hours later and I'm home. Let me just show you this shit. So this is how they measure how allergic you are to things. Size of the bump in millimeters over the size of the redness in millimeters. You are allergic to something if it is 3 over 5. So 3 millimeters over 5 millimeters means you're allergic to it. This right here is what I'm working with. 25 over 45 for basically every type of domestic grass. I think if I look at a birch tree too hard, it might just kill me. And the only thing that I'm only kind of allergic to is like sheep sorrel and Russian thistle. And that's it, because they have the exact same amount of reaction as the saline control, which is 2 out of 4. It should be no reaction. I have a full-time job in parks. Anyway, that was fun. I guess I'll keep y'all updated.
But,
Which is the best video ever.
oh, it's so much fun. But the very first paycheck that I got from that job immediately got sunk into buying a ring. And I straight up, I love you, I lied about it. For a month, and I said, it's just, the timing, it's coming up and it's going back and forth. I don't know when the prices are I don't know when the payments are gonna come through.
Yep.
And just
you bought it out?
hid the fact that I had just spent the entire goddamn paycheck in a day.
Yep.
And I got like $30 because I'm still making videos. So,
Right.
totally fine.
That's awesome. It's funny because my buddy had a proposal story like that too.
Yeah.
Where his girlfriend was like, "Hey, are we missing money? Stop asking me questions."
What? No.
As
of course
the
not.
budgeter, that was very slick of you.
That's awesome. So, other than that, you've also changed cosmetically.
I have indeed.
The mohawk is gone.
The mohawk is gone. I had my mohawk since I was in kindergarten. Yeah, sure, let's talk about it. So if you've been around here for a while, you know that I have had the exact same hair since I was literally born. To some extent. I was technically born with a mohawk. The hair in the center of my head grew before anything else, and I have been cutting my hair into a mohawk since the summer break in between kindergarten and first grade. I have had it since I was a little babby panda and have literally never had any other hairstyle. And that brings us to why my hair is growing out. Because I have had my hair in the exact same style since I was a literal tiny baby, you guys have never seen me with my hair longer, and neither have I. And this is something I kind of keep in the background. It's stuff that I kind of work on my own time, but I've been doing a lot of self-discovery, a lot of self-work, and one of the things that I have realized is that I have kept my hair not out of a true desire to keep it, but more as a solid tenet of my personality. It is something that I have never really questioned. It is something that I have never really tried to change. And because of that, I want to see what I look like without it. And admittedly, it is because of this beautiful woman's influence.
I did not ask him to do it.
She did not.
And I did not pressure him to do it. That
Nor
is
did
a
she do
very
that.
common misconception.
She did not ask or pressure me into changing my hair. We had many talks as to why I kept my hair.
Yeah.
Not just had a mohawk. I knew why I had a mohawk. It was a lot of talks into why I was so insistent on never changing it.
Right.
And why I was so insistent on sticking with this one style my entire life. And eventually I kind of realized that the person that I was when I decided to get that hair and have that appearance really wasn't who I was anymore.
Right.
And holding on to that was holding me back from becoming a different person or growing or changing. And honestly, as I'm becoming more of an adult, as I am, getting married and moving into our own apartment, and not our own apartment, our own house.
Our own house.
I wanted to have something that showed a bit of growth. So, ironically, I started growing.
Awesome. I could tell in the videos. It's like, Hannah's not getting haircuts. Something's up. I was telling Scarlett earlier, and I was like, and then you announced it. I was like, I knew it. I knew it.
I saw it
Called
first.
it very early.
Yes. Admittedly, when I go back and watch my videos, it's very funny seeing the different stages of it
Of grow out.
Because it'll go from, it's like a long mohawk to like, that's like a really ugly long mohawk.
Yeah.
That's like, Jesus.
Looks like your barber really messed with you.
It looks like your barber fucked up. Oh, no. And then going to the stage where it's just a fucking pompadour, because
We got a lot of comments like that.
yeah, there was a point where it was so long, but you could still see that the middle was longer.
Right.
And I went to a barber and went, I need you to like smooth it so that it's
And
not
he's
as
like, why
bad.
don't, if you're trying to grow it out, why don't you buzz cut it? Because I would take my ring off.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
she was the only reason I didn't go
No.
from nothing to everything.
Right.
No.
But the
that
barber
would've
was
been weird
like,
seeing you bald.
exactly.
No, it's not just weird seeing him bald. He's got a weird head under all that.
Yeah.
It would not look good.
Excuse you.
It would not
I
look
think
good.
it's-
I have a perfectly spherical head,
yeah.
which
Looks weird.
is why it's weird. If you don't know, anatomy lesson, skulls are oblong, mine is not. So mine
Why
is...
the mohawk works so well.
It's part of the reason the mohawk works, and it's also the reason that I can't fit most helmets. That's why the helmets that do fit me are too goddamn big, because
Okay.
I need them to be circular.
Okay.
So if I shave my head, it would literally be a chrome dome.
Yeah.
Because I
Bowling
am
ball.
also the color of paper. So it is miraculous I am not disappearing into the background.
Before we get into a tangent,
Yeah.
Yes.
let's talk some nerd shit.
Yes, please.
So I was talking to Scarlett about this while you were drawing for me. Where are you on the Kim Possible versus Robin debate?
I don't
I'm sorry,
think he knows either.
that's a debate?
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
Twitter.
That's a debate
Okay,
that
so you
people
have
are
seen
having?
it?
No, I didn't.
You've never seen it?
No.
It's a meme. It's Apprentice Robin from Teen Titans versus Super Suit Kim Possible.
I'm sorry, from Teen Titans?
Yeah.
Why is this a debate?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
That's not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If it's Teen Titan, if you left it at Comics Robin, it would be a debate.
Yeah.
You
Really?
Depends on which one.
Depending
maybe which
on
era.
which one at which time.
Dick
Teen
Grayson?
Titans Robin. Teen Titans
Demon
knee
Time.
drop from a
Yeah.
fucking skyscraper Robin.
The best
Demon
visual
Time
Teen
Robin.
Titans,
of all
I
time.
tackled a man through a literal fucking billboard Robin. Him?
He beat Cinderblock.
No. Him.
Wrestling Bears.
Wrestling Bear, Teen
Robin.
Titans punching Cinderblock with his bare fucking hands until he doesn't get up anymore. That Robin? No.
Even at most powerful Kim Possible, that's not happening. I'm
Kim
sorry.
Possible has lost fights. That version of Dick Grayson has simply waited until he was stronger.
Yeah,
took
I don't
out
think
his
he's
entire
officially
team.
lost.
I am not convinced that Robin isn't a Saiyan. Like, that is...
It's funny because if you break down, okay, just say, oh, Kim's a really good cheerleader. He is a professional acrobat.
Yeah, I won't even... That man knows how to fucking scrap. That is a...
Yeah, you can't teach that. You can teach as many fighting
reason-
styles as you want to Kim Possible. There's something about the grid.
The reason we don't know which fucking Robin that is because we don't know who's got hands like that.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact it's not fucking Dick. So there is something going on there.
That's awesome. Okay. Just another one. I'll just ask you some rapid fires.
Hit me.
Turtles versus the Robins.
All on all? Which era of Turtle?
All on all.
All on all, which era? Okay.
IDW Turtles?
Which
Yeah, the
tur-
IEW Turtles. Those are my favorite.
Turtles.
IDW Turtles.
Turtles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's again one of those questions where it's which version of these characters are we talking about?
Yeah.
Because it absolutely depends. Rise is getting their ass kicked
Yeah.
in the early seasons. Later
Comedically.
seasons, Yeah, Rise is getting their ass kicked,
Rapid
and it's
fire.
yeah. All right, sorry. Yes,
Yeah, rapid fire.
completely depends on the series, but if it's
Usually
IDW,
Turtles.
usually Turtles.
I was gonna say, shit, it was there and it's gone now. Should Bruce Wayne go to therapy?
Would it even work at this point?
Bruce Wayne has gone to therapy.
Canonically.
Bruce Wayne does go to therapy and he lies.
Yeah.
So, no. Because Bruce Wayne does not actually believe therapy will help him.
Yeah.
If you said if Batman goes to therapy, again, would it work? Because Bruce
No.
at this point, it 100% is not working on
Even
Bruce.
if Batman went to therapy, Batman is too much of a mask.
Okay.
It's like asking an autistic person if they can go to therapy fully masked.
Yeah.
No.
Is Batman a gift or a curse or a choice? Like the Batman, not
It is a choice by way of a curse. It is...
Mine's the opposite. I think he made the choice at first, and then it became a curse,
That's
and now
what-
he can't get out of it.
I think that's more what I was trying
Got
to
it.
say.
Is Terry McGinnis cursed, or was it a choice?
That's a choice.
it's
Terry
definitely
McGinnis
a
does it
choice.
because he wants this. Terry McGinnis does this for the same reason
He
that
might be the
Spider-Man...
only one to want it.
Yeah,
frankly.
He's the only one who has deliberately looked at the Batman and the legacy of the Batman and went, no, I want to do this.
Like a
with the
psycho.
exception of like Tim Drake, and even Tim Drake didn't say he wanted to be Batman.
Yeah.
So that is entirely, Terry McGinnis is the only person to look at what Batman is and the legacy of what that holds and go, I want to do this. So that is a choice.
Okay, I got a hot take for you.
Yes.
I read somewhere recently that Tim Drake, well, the newer Tim Drake, is like bad bi representation. Like the stories are kind of just like, oh, they made him bi for the sake of it. What do you think?
I don't... Oh, yeah, please go.
We've talked about it a little bit. Representation is going to be iffy no matter what. Everybody's experience as a bisexual, either, and anything really, if it's about your gender or about your sexuality, it's always going to be different. The goal when writing that is to reach as many people as possible, but it's always going to be a gray area, and it's going to be very subjective on whether or not it's good. You can have your complaints about who they chose to be his partner, or a preference for his
they were like,
partner,
Bernard's
stuff like
a
that.
shitty character.
Or like Bernard wasn't the right person to choose for various reasons of like what his character used to be. At the end of the day, I personally think that it is a great exploration of his character that a lot of people already kind of pegged as probably being there, and I think it's very natural. I think also we need more of that representation across existing comic characters anyway, not just newly created ones. I think it's great for what it is. Everything can always be made better.
Exactly.
Representation can be made better. It can always be built upon, but honestly, I'm like, the bar has to start somewhere, and I think Tim was probably the smoothest one to transition.
I think that of the characters that they picked, it makes absolutely the most sense. And honestly, regardless of how it was handled after it happened, I think that, like you very much said, it is everyone's experience with their coming out is going to be very different, and
It's going to resonate with someone.
it's going to resonate with someone. Especially, you're not going to be able to make a character queer in any capacity and then have it please everybody, because everybody's story is going to be different. Everybody's way of announcing that is different. I mean, the first time that I announced publicly that I was ace was offhandedly on a stream, and everybody exploded like it was coming out because I didn't expect that was a thing. I didn't have a coming out, and that is just because
That
it's
was
just,
your version.
that was my version because it was just a thing I had accepted in myself. So I don't think that it is a negative portrayal. I think it is a specific portrayal. Having a character come out and then no controversy around it
It's impossible.
not only is impossible, but with Tim specifically, he came out and then nothing really changed other
Right,
than
that's
he
what they
got
were
a
saying.
boyfriend. But that happens.
Realistic.
That happens for some people.
Right.
Like that is someone's story, and I think that is a realistic way to portray that thing happening, even if it's not the most engaging.
Okay. You both are into Power Rangers, obviously. Kind of. Are you?
Kind of.
As
This
a
is more
kid.
of a question for Sir Superhero.
Yeah, this is definitely a Sir Superhero question.
Okay.
I am not.
Well, recently I met Catherine, I forgot her name, who plays Kat.
Okay.
And I asked her, since in the 30th anniversary, they name dropped JJ,
Yeah.
her and Tommy's son. And I said, who would you want to play JJ? She said the kid who played Robbie from Cobra Kai. Who would you want to play JJ?
That is too
Too niche of a question for me.
That is too
Okay.
niche of a question for me as well. I have not watched Cobra Kai, and I haven't watched Power Rangers in long enough to know any of those names.
Okay, cool.
So,
That's an interesting. Okay, all right, that's dope. how do you feel about like the Batman comics right now and currently, like story-wise?
I'm going to be honest.
It's a complex question.
Not only is that a complex question, I think that the character of Batman is one that goes in phases, and right now we're in a phase of them not really knowing what to do with them.
Yeah, it's a transitory phase, at least for Batman himself.
Because they don't really know if they want to dedicate to the more fanon version of the character now that fanon has become a more consistent thing, or if they want to dedicate to what they've done in the past.
Okay.
And I think that as things go by, as time progresses, we will see this era of Batman as one of transition. It'll unfortunately probably be one of the eras that kind of gets forgotten, but I think that it is not the worst thing.
In our last interview, I talked about the Turtles movie coming out. What'd you think of it? The new one? The Mutant Mayhem or whatever it's called?
Oh, Mutant Mayhem. Yeah.
I loved the animation. I felt it was a little bit too much of a parody, personally.
Really?
Yeah, I felt it was a little lacking in terms of like the characterization of the Turtles. I definitely wanted a little bit more from it, but I liked that they kept the more humorous aspect, especially for that age of like what the Turtles are. And I really loved seeing it resonate with a new, younger generation again, instead of just like old head Turtle fans going to see it. I loved seeing it explode in like the younger kids. I thought that's exactly what they need, because that's what we got.
In a slightly more critical sense, I will say Mutant Mayhem was to the Turtles what Thor Ragnarok was to Planet Hulk.
Okay.
It took a lot of very complex characters and complex topics and kind of flattened them out. And it did absolutely introduce a new audience to it, and I'm very happy for that.
Okay.
But it's a two-sided sword.
Yeah, in order to make it digestible, they had to pare it down, but by paring it down, it gets a little flat.
Yeah.
I'll do a few more and get you out of here.
Okay.
Current opinion on Marvel right now?
Comic or
The movies.
Movies?
Marvel Studio.
I'm glad that they're changing things up with the most recent movie, but until the most recent movie, I honestly didn't want to know.
I continuously will say that I think that Marvel is a company that had a planned ending that is then extended. Everybody has seen a story that was supposed to end at a certain point and then continued going. Everyone has watched a show that got renewed for an extra season they didn't want. And I feel like we have been in that era of Marvel for a while. And unfortunately, because of the financial backings of Marvel as a company, the things that they choose to do and the things that they choose to dedicate to and the things that they choose to double down on are things that I would not say are the best choices. I think that they're getting tired. I think that they don't really know what they're doing to a certain extent.
They're in another transition phase.
Yeah, they're in another transition phase. I think that they thought certain things were going to go better than they did.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom, for one.
They built an empire in terms of a cinematic universe, but it's hard to know how to continue an empire when you are the one who formed it. You know, you can have that really big bang, and that big bang can last multiple years. Continuity and keeping that stamina up when you're the one who made the form, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're still fighting to figure it out.
Exactly.
You're a DC guy, so
yes.
You ready for James Gunn's DC Universe?
We have a literal marked on the calendar Superman Day. We are excited.
And the next one is going to specifically be, for me, Supergirl.
I'll be so honest. I still am approaching it with the cautious optimism, but I am on the hype train going to it.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's full optimism. If I come out disappointed, that's on me. But I'm like, I'll give all the support until I am disappointed.
100%. That is how we are approaching it. Yes, I am on the hype train fully and very enthusiastically. But I am like, don't fuck this up. Don't you do it.
Yeah.
Don't you fuck this up for me.
I would be remiss to not ask you about TikTok. So, with TikTok exploding on itself for a little bit, how'd you feel? Obviously, you made the goodbye video, but internally, externally, you can only say so much.
Yeah.
What can you tell me that you didn't tell us?
You know, eventually, if I just keep scrolling, YouTube will stop just giving me fucking movie clips.
Yo, TikTok's not gone.
I'm sorry, what?
TikTok only got banned for 12 hours. You're good.
But I did a whole thing.
Uh-huh.
I posted like a wrap of my statistics on Blue Sky. I said goodbye.
Yeah, well, now it's not gone, so.
Don't just drop that and leave.
I was ready.
Really?
It was something that I knew it was gonna. As soon as I heard it was going to happen, it is upsetting. It is something that was upsetting, and it's still upsetting.
Yeah.
But to the certain extent, that transition needs to happen eventually. TikTok is a very. You can never completely plant your roots in one form of entertainment when you are an entertainer.
Right.
If you are just doing this one thing, that's all you're ever going to do.
Right.
There's a reason Markiplier makes movies. There's a reason Jacksepticeye makes coffee. There's a reason that people get brands after they become icons. And I'm not trying to put myself on any of those statuses or platforms. But at the exact same time, that transition needs to happen eventually.
Not just for diversification, but like because this is you.
This is me, and I have more to say that can't be combined into a 3-minute video. Okay. So in that sense, as disappointing as it is, as hurtful as it was something I was ready for, and it was a kick in the ass I needed. Okay. So it is something I am, if it ever goes through, which I doubt it will, I'm ready, and I'm okay with that. There is a certain level of fear that went into it, but the more I've sat with it, the better I am now.
Okay. 2 more questions. When are we getting a Panda Red Scarlet podcast about superheroes?
We would love to.
Patreon.
We would love to,
Patreon?
but probably Patreon.
Get on the Patreon.
Yep. There's some big things coming after we get home and get settled after this long 2-week stint, but
okay.
Patreon is probably number one.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming by.
Okay. Last question, because I got to wrap this up.
No worries.
Ideal wedding venue.
Ideal? Man, they don't really exist in Washington. That's why we had to tour more than 30.
Yeah.
But something that's kind of like beautiful big garden, but a little bit like Victorian, maybe a little bit castle, like
a manor with a really nice garden with a nice view.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things that we put on the list. And we actually have found what our wedding venue is now.
We have officially, right before we came on this trip.
Right before we got on this trip, we actually got it. So now, congratulations, you heard it here first. So we have found what we will have, and we are very happy with it. But ideal is a completely different question.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to the fans, to Discord, everybody, what do you want to say?
Thank you guys for sticking with me through everything that has happened, with platforms exploding, with transitions, with car accidents, long waits, donation pools, and merch drops, and everything. Just thank you. It means the world. And the teddy bears. Thank you for sticking with me, and thank you for sticking with us, and thank you for continuously giving us space.
And for accepting me so readily, so warmly, and welcomingly. It's been amazing. I like being celebrated as an individual just as much as a part of Panda. And so it's been really great to see that people are doing both. That I'm not just being lumped in, and people do like me. I don't need to be liked to be married, but it is very nice, and I love interacting with everybody. It's been really amazing, and I know I'm kicking his ass to do some new stuff.
I need it.
But we'll see where it takes us.
All right. Do you want to say goodbye to NocoCon and say thank you?
Yes, goodbye, NocoCon 2025.
Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you so much for having us. And thank you for bringing my lovely, lovely wife, Scarlett.
All right, one more time.
I am the Panda Red.
And I am Darlingdoormouse, a.k.a. Panda Scarlet.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Do y'all remember that bit I did at Rose City Comic Con where I said the easiest way to blend in is just to cover up my hair? Yeah, fuck that. I did the opposite thing at MegaCon. I'm wearing a jersey right now with my name literally plastered on